Melon Heads. Now, if you don't know what the Melon Heads are, they're supposedly people with a rare disease called hydrocephalus that will apparently jump out of the middle of the woods at nighttime and attack you. Across the country, there's been a few locations that have reported to see these things, such as Cleveland, Ohio, and Fairfield, Connecticut. But the most interesting location, in my opinion, is the one up in Holland, Michigan. Up there, there's this place called the Felt Mansion, which throughout the years has been changed into a bunch of different stuff. But according to the legend, this place was an asylum for a while that was home to kids with hydrocephalus. And supposedly, there was abusive behavior and horrible experiments performed on them. So one night, they got fed up with it all. They attacked the doctor that was doing this all to him, and in some variants of the story, even set the Felt Mansion on fire. Then they ran out into the nearby woods and supposedly roam the property to this day. Now, did any of this even happen? And are the Melon Heads actually real? That's what we're gonna find out today. We're here at the Felt Mansion, and apparently this is where all the Melon Head stuff went down. This is gonna be our first stop. Let's see if we can get some leads. So far from the looks of it, this is like one of the most classical buildings I think I've ever seen in my life. Now this place is an event venue where you can book events and do stuff like that, so there's no more experiments going on, to put it that way. The sign. This is valuable information right here. It became a prep school in 1949, served as a chapel, it was a house, and then it became preserved. All right, so far this sign about the history of this place says nothing about it being an asylum. Maybe they're hiding it, or maybe it's not true. And after scoping out the grounds, we went in for a tour, but then this happened. Hello. Yeah, we're gonna pay for a self-guided tour.
Okay, we can't use that in here.
No?
Not at all.
All right. She told us that we weren't allowed to use our camera, so we had to be very sneaky and pull out the phone. And turns out nowadays, this place is just a super nice old-timey mansion. But we went and searched the entire building for anything we could find. And after searching and digging, there wasn't anything about the Melon Heads at all. It said that there's 3 stories to this place, so maybe the 3rd floor is hiding something. And with the 3rd floor being our last hope, we found nothing. So I think they covered up everything about the Melon Heads. Now, how could this mansion have such a radical story tied to it and have nothing about it anywhere? And then on our way out, I noticed something. It was their entire timeline on the wall, so I snapped a quick picture, and we found out that this place was abandoned for quite a while. You know what they say about abandoned buildings? Some bad stuff went down in them. With this new info, I mean, I knew I could tie this story together, but I was gonna need some more to figure it out. So I went to the closest library. We'll see if they got anything, I guess. I'm really hoping they have like some old newspapers or something. Anything at all, like actual documents. Y'all have any archives about the Melon Heads in the back that we could look at?
We do have a local history section. I can show you where that is.
You ever had any encounters with them?
No. It's intriguing though.
Yeah. After being guided to the local history section, I thought for sure I'd be able to find stuff about the Melon Heads or at least the Felt Mansion. Like, how could they make this mystery up from thin air? There had to have been something that went down for all this to like have been created to begin with. But after digging and digging, there wasn't anything. It's low-key like they're hiding the past in this place. It kind of makes me a little sketched out, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so I think our next best bet to find some leads, we're going to the historical office at the closest college. I'm not stopping until we crack the code of the Melon Heads. Sorry to bother you, but we're trying to figure out about the Melon Heads. We're trying to crack the code. We're wondering where we could find some like historical documents. The only thing this lady could think of was this library down the street, so we went to go check it out, but it was locked and there was nobody in there. So our next best bet was to walk around and see if any students could help us out. Do y'all know where any historical offices are?
No, sorry.
Okay. Excuse me, do y'all know where the historical offices are?
Historical office?
Yeah, do y'all have one of those?
The history department is in Lovers, but it's definitely not gonna have any people in it right now.
Well, scratch that off the list. There's no historical office. We were honestly starting to hit a dead end and felt kind of lost. So I tried making a few phone calls.
Thank you for calling Michigan Museum of Horror. How can I help you?
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys had anything about the Melon Heads.
Unfortunately, I cannot find anybody right now to get an answer, and it's only my 2nd day, so I don't know.
And I even tried calling the Register of Deeds office.
We don't have any of those, no. We just have all of our deeds and mortgages.
So with none of these places being a lead, I figured there was no better way to get answers than to just ask the people that live there. Yeah. Hey bro, do you know anything about the Melon Heads?
Yeah, they live in these woods, but a lot of times you can find them all over this place.
Is there any specific locations we could go to, like you know around here? Have you ever seen one?
I've never seen one, but you can find them that side of this area.
The mystery's been around for a long time. I know it used to be down by what used to be the old prison.
Okay.
Out there. Rumors have it that they come out at dark and stuff like that. I was raised up on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one? No. Excuse me, sir. Do you know anything about the Melon Heads? Okay, thank you. We'll check that out.
Growing up in the 70s and 80s, Melon's Head was always worried about them being out there when we were out there on the dunes at night when we're not supposed to be, hearing noises, scaring each other. Oh yeah, back in the day, doctor was there, took care of sick kids who had a brain growth, their heads grew big. Supposedly they attacked the doctor and took off into the woods.
Have you heard any reports of all that being true, or is it just kind of believed to be like a myth around here?
It's true.
Really?
As far as the kids running out and taking over and stuff, no.
But there was kids that lived there and were being tested on?
It wasn't they were tested on, they were trying to take care of them and see what was going on with them to help anybody else.
Is there still people with that condition that are like around here? Like, is that like a common thing around here?
No. As far as I know, the kids were coming from different states to here.
The locals gave us tons of clues, and little by little it was starting to seem like this mystery could actually be solved. We got some info about an old prison that used to be on the Felt Mansion property. And with this info, I found out that this old prison eventually sat abandoned along with the Felt Mansion in the late 80s and early 90s. And they inevitably tore the prison down, but decided to restore the Felt Mansion to be the historic site that it is today. On top of that, we had a local tell us about how he'd been hearing stuff about the Melon Heads his entire life, and people back in the day were horrified to go into those woods. With all this, I knew the only way I could see for myself what's really going on in the woods near the Felt Mansion was to explore at nighttime and see if I could actually find a melon head. All right, you guys, surprisingly, bro, this place is right next to Lake Michigan. We're gonna check the beach first. We're gonna walk through these woods. Let's see if we can find ourselves a melon head tonight. So we waited for the sun to go down, and as soon as it got dark, it was time for the search. All right, this is the highest point of the beach. If we were gonna see any melon heads, this would be from where? So far, nothing.
No melon heads?
No, not up here at least. Nothing at the beach, no melon heads in sight. Let's just go into the woods and see if we can find some out in the woods. Melon head woods. We're gonna try and see if we can either hear or find something out here. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of true to some extent. Like, there's something out here that's freaked people out before. And after walking in the woods for just a little bit of time, we heard something heavy running right in front of us. Bro, what was that? You hear that?
I did hear that.
So we had to go check it out.
It's like, it's not that far.
Melon head. There's a melon head. Make yourself known. It came from over here.
Bro.
I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and just say it was a deer. We saw some deer earlier. That's probably what it was. We were in the thick of the melon head wood. If we were going to find them, this would be the spot to do it. You see that? I see eyes there. Bro, hold the camera up, but I literally saw him.
Yeah, I see him. I got him. I got it in there.
A baby deer?
It is.
Oh shoot.
It's a fawn.
Let's not wait for the mom to come. That's probably what that noise was back there. We're gonna call for him. Melon heads! Melon heads!
Melon heads! Ain't biting, bro.
So after all we found were some deer and we put everything together that we had found out, it all started to make a little sense. I'm starting to think that years ago there were legitimately kids with hydrocephalus that were being treated in this area. And years later, when the Felt Mansion and the prison sat abandoned, people, specifically kids, would roam these woods for fun and potentially dare each other to go into these abandoned buildings. And in order to add a whole other scare factor to it, they stretched the truth like crazy. So while they were out there scared, they would see things like a deer's eyes or hear leaves crunching and just assume for the worst. Word would spread like wildfire, and eventually some would just believe it all to be true. And from there on, the Melon Heads legend was created.